Hi there, my name's Natasha. In this class, we're going to look at an IELTS Writing Task 2 essay question and talk about how to answer it with the best possible vocabulary and paragraph structure. First, we're going to analyze the essay prompt. Then we're going to review some task-specific vocabulary that you could use. After that, we're going to write a high-scoring essay together. At the end, I'll show you a way you can get feedback on your writing from an expert teacher. Now, with every IELTS writing task, the first thing to do is read the question very carefully. Here are the instructions that we always start with. It says, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Write about the following topic. Then below, it says, give reasons, include examples, write at least 250 words. So let's see the unique essay topic. Here it is. Some governments spend a lot of money on exploring space. Some feel that this investment is justified, it's a good idea, or it's worth it, while others think that the money should be spent on public services like healthcare and education. Public services, which are things that benefit the citizens of that country or fulfill their basic needs. And our question, discuss both these views and give your opinion. So we've got 3 things to do here. Discuss both sides and give our own opinion. I won't go into too much detail about how to plan and structure this essay, but if you want extra help with that, check out e2testprep.com for videos, classes, and tutorials all about it. Now back to our space topic. Let's think about activating our vocabulary. Space is quite a unique topic that might not come up in everyday conversation, so I imagine a lot of students might not feel confident with space-related vocab or space-related issues. So I'm going to help you by showing you some vocabulary from my essay. Here is a really small list of useful words. I'm going to go through each one and then give you a quick quiz to see if you remember. First word is to squander. This is to waste, usually money. For example, my friend squandered his money at the casino last week. He basically flushed it down the toilet by gambling. Squander. To mine. These guys here are miners. They're in a mine and they are mining. What are they mining for? Probably coal or gold or diamonds. To mine. Another word from our essay today is literacy. Literacy is the ability to read and write. So if a country has a really good education system, do you think its literacy rate is high or low? It would be high, of course. Here's probably a familiar word. Rocket. Now, examiners love to see topic-specific vocabulary in writing. So when you're discussing space, it's an opportunity to bring in some interesting space vocab that you know. Vaccine. This is related to the public services part of the question today. You get a vaccine to protect you from diseases. Another space word. Astronaut. This person is an astronaut. And uninhabitable. It's impossible to live here. This place is uninhabitable. Maybe it's the center of Australia or perhaps Jupiter or Venus. These places are uninhabitable. Were there any new words for you there? Hopefully you've picked up some new vocabulary. Let's do a quick quiz and see how much you remember. Which word or phrase from the previous page means spaceship? Ability to read and write? Waste? A substance to provide immunity? Unsuitable to live in? Dig in the earth for coal, gold, minerals, etc. See if you can guess them all in 15 seconds. Your answers should be rocket, literacy, squander, vaccine, uninhabitable, and mine. So remember, as I said, try to get in some of these topic-specific words like rocket and astronaut. And in general, work on your vocabulary every day. Back to our essay, and it's time now to plan. Remember, we've got 3 things to think about. The first view, the second view, and my own view. Let's start with the first one, that space exploration is justified, that the money is worth it. I'd love to know your own ideas here, so feel free to put them in the comments below. What are some arguments for investing in space research? The first thing that I ask myself here is why? Why is space research a good thing? And here are a few ideas. 1. Space research can have many knock-on effects for ordinary people. For instance, did you know that pacemakers and sunglasses came from space research? Another reason is that this could help to protect us from asteroid collisions. Sounds a little bit like science fiction, but apparently it's true. And third one, we might find a new planet to mine or perhaps to colonize. We're already looking at somewhere like Mars for people to move to. What about the second point? Money should be spent on public services instead. So why do some people think that this is a waste of money? That the money should go to public services? Well, this is a pretty easy one. Some people are starving and dying of treatable diseases around the world. They need this money. Another reason why the money should be spent on public services, some say space exploration is not useful any longer. We've already been to the moon, we've got satellites everywhere, we've sent a rover to Mars. What more do we need to know? And another one, government money should be spent on citizens first. Many people believe that the citizens' needs should come before throwing money away into space or squandering money on space exploration. So this brings us to my view, or rather, your view. You could be 100% on this side, 100% on that side, and I know what your next question is. Can I be on both sides? And this is a great question. You can't actually be on both sides. You can't 100% argue for something and 100% argue against something. Of course, you can have a nuanced opinion, which is in the middle, but I'm going to show you something on the criteria just to keep in mind as you plan and write your essay. So everything comes down to this marking criteria, of course. I'm going to zoom in here down to band 3, and the second part says, no relevant position can be identified. Position is basically your opinion. So if an examiner gets to the end of your essay and still doesn't clearly understand what you think, you're in danger of getting a band 3 for task response. So at all costs, you need to avoid this. Up at band 7, the second part says, a clear and developed position is presented. This is, of course, what we need, and I'm going to show you how to make sure you're giving a clear position throughout the response, not just at the end. So let's move on to writing. I haven't shown you my plan, but as I write my essay, you'll be able to figure it out. We start with the introduction. I always follow the E2 structure with 3 sentences. Here we go. In the last century, billions of dollars have been spent on the exploration of the universe. Although some support this investment, others feel that this money is squandered and should instead be spent tackling Earth's many problems such as public health and education. In this essay, I will examine both views and explain why I agree that the government should cease funding space programs. Notice this part here. This is my opinion. In this type of essay and in the real world, for this type of question, you would probably give your opinion at the end, but since this is the IELTS, I want to avoid getting a band 6 or 5 or 4 or 3 in task response. I want to show the examiner a clear position throughout the essay. So I put my opinion in the introduction, and I would advise you to do the same. On to body paragraph 1 now, and we're looking at the first view. Those who advocate this state-funded research argue that the future of humankind may depend on such a discovery. If we found an Earth-like planet nearby, for instance, they claim that our species could mine its resources or even colonize and potentially migrate there once our own planet becomes uninhabitable. Indeed, projects are already underway investigating the feasibility of life on Mars, among other places. Thus, to these supporters, the government's money is well spent on exploring outer space as it could ultimately save us. Notice the use of those and they and these supporters. All of that indicates that this is not my view. Now on to body 2. I'd like to give you a little challenge here. Here's my paragraph, but I've taken out some of the words. Let me read through it. See if you can guess what's missing, and then I'll show you the possible options. Others, however, myself included, did not support this ongoing blank. Indeed, in the last few decades, countries like the USA have spent over $100 billion sending astronauts, rovers, and blank out into the galaxy, and the results have been negligible. If this money had been spent instead on improving blank, or sanitation in the third world, or on researching blank and treatments for deadly diseases, our lives would be much better than they currently are. Given that private businesses such as Tesla and Virgin are now pouring money, blank space research, governments no longer need to waste their money on this fruitless pursuit. So, here are your options. I'll give you 30 seconds to fill in the gaps. Have a go. Challenge yourself. And here are the answers. How did you go? Did you get 5 out of 5? Write your answer into the comments. This brings us now to the conclusion. Let's read it. In conclusion, humanity's thirst for knowledge is unquenchable. It is time, however, for private corporations to invest and for governments to take responsibility for their real duty here on Earth. So remember the importance of that clear position throughout. You can see I've restated what I believe in the conclusion here. Now, the final step would be to edit. So let me show you the full sample. Here it is. Grab a screenshot or pause and write it out or read it aloud into your phone and listen to it later. Now, I promised you at the beginning that I'd show you how to get feedback from an expert IELTS teacher. An easy way is to log into E2 Test Prep. You can get a free trial or sign up for one of our IELTS courses. Once you're in, you can click this assessment tab on the left, where you'll find writing and speaking assessments. Here, you'll find a number of unique writing tasks which you can complete and submit to our teachers here at E2. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. Remember to subscribe to this channel for more IELTS content, and I'll see you in the next class.